Good evening and welcome to a special edition of Swampscott Profiles. We're taping this segment in the Lynn Studios while our own studios at Swampscott High School are being renovated and stocked with a whole bunch of new equipment. Today's guest, I'm pleased to say, is Sam Stetcher, a Swampscott resident who is also a magician. Sam, welcome to the show. Glad you could make it down here.
Thank you.
Sam has been a magician for how many years?
Well, since I was 12 years old or so, I got started in magic and interested in it, and so it's. I guess I wasted 12 years of my life. I didn't start earlier.
I might mention that Sam, after this segment and after the break, will be doing his act for us, so stay tuned for that. So, Sam, you started when you were a kid.
Right.
Doing magic.
Right.
And did you ever think of doing it as a career in itself?
Well, not really. When you're a child, you think of these things, yes. But as you get older, you get more realistic, and you realize that there aren't that many magicians that are full-time magicians, except for the name stars at the time. Well, at one time, maybe, Mark Wilson's famous. He used to have TV shows. Today you have Doug Henning and David Copperfield, which people are familiar with. They have the big money, the big productions, and that's a different story. But if you work in nightclubs or they say trade shows, you have your sponsors that have contracts with the same people every year. But you have to travel. That you would want to live out of a suitcase, and there's just so many weeks a year you'd be working. But those are the few people that would be making a living out of magic, and then even a star fades away. New ones come up all the time. Even within our own circle of magicians, which the lay people aren't familiar with, there are names that are great, the greats to us. They either pass on or somebody else comes up and says, it's like, it reminds me of the old gunfighters out west, who's the top gun. You have, they'll say, well, this particular magician is the top man today in cards.
Right.
Cards. A month from now, you may say, well, gee, this one does, you ought to see this one's lecture. He does card tricks you wouldn't believe.
So what is your specialty?
Well, I don't try to specialize in any one particular thing like cards or coins, because you find that cards for children is very difficult. First, they don't remember the card. The card can jump out of the deck.
I wouldn't remember the card.
Well, the card could jump out of the deck and do a triple somersault and whistle Dixie, but then I say, was this your card? And they say, I don't know, I don't remember. So you have to, like in photography, which not to change the subject, but I'm into photography too for 25 years, a member of the camera club. You've got to get yourself down to the level of the child. If you're doing a show for children, you've got to get down to their level and do things that they can understand. With an adult, you've got to go into something like cards or dice or routines or gambling routines, and so you're up to, not in a childish level with an adult. So it's entirely different. You have to have real acting ability to get on stage.
That's interesting.
Yeah, because you've got to have absolutely,
acting at all?
No, but you read articles. There are many magazines on magic that magicians know about. There's the different organizations that you can belong to. There's the International Brotherhood of Magicians. There's the Society of American Magicians, of which I belong to. As a matter of fact, I'm a charter member of the one in Salem, Mass. We formed one, we got our charter about 15 years ago there.
Where do you perform now?
Well, I don't advertise, and so it's by word of mouth, more or less, you see, and so...
do you do weddings and such things?
I've done some free shows at the, for the Swampscott Library. I did a few. Lynn Library during they call it National Library Week. National Library Week they have special events at the libraries. I've done a show up at the Hunt Country Club. I forget what it was, the American Legion or VFW in Wakefield Christmas party. You find different parts of the year, like July 4th, in Peabody, one of the wards there, they have picnics for the children and entertainment for the children. July 4th. I've done some shows up there.
Well, Sam, would you like to do some of your act for us here in the studio?
I'd be very happy to.
Well, thank you. And we'll be back with Sam Stetcher's Magic Act right after this message.
I thought you weren't supposed to smoke in elevators.
People don't read signs.
Some people don't even have the courtesy not to smoke in enclosed areas.
Some people don't know that 3 out of 4 people do not smoke cigarettes.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Their smoke is hazardous to your health, so don't allow other people to smoke in non-smoking areas. This has been a public service announcement. For more information, contact GASPA, Massachusetts, 266-2088.
All right, what I would like to do now that we have discussed the properties of copper and silver is take 4 $half, put one in each corner of the mat, like so. Right? Now, before we start that, I'd like to take off 4 cards. 2 red, 2 black cards. Right? Okay. Now, I'm going to mix these up.
Okay.
You want to do this, Marsha, or Jessica? Who wants to do
Jessica does.
this? Okay. All right. Now, so all you have to remember is the color. Forget about queens or 6s or whatever. Just remember the color. Remember the color?
Yeah, red and black.
No, wait, no, remember the color you see. Remember the color you see there.
Okay.
Okay? All right, look. I'll put it down very slowly. No, watch me now. Watch me now. Very slowly, right? Right? Can you see what I'm doing? Now put that right there, right? Now, Jessica, watch carefully. See the color? Just remember the color. Just the color. Right? Now, carefully, I'm going to place that right there. Right? Now, place these 2 right here. Now, I want you to put your hand right on top of the red ones before we proceed with the coins. Put your right hand, right on top of the red ones. Or your left, okay. Top of the red ones. You got on top of the red ones? Okay. Jessica, I'm sorry. I think you put your hand on the black ones. Turn them over. See, I guess you weren't paying attention. Well, watch. Let me do that again. Let me mix them up. 2 red cards, 2 black cards. Now we'll mix them up. You don't know where they are? I don't know where they are. Just remember black and red. Red and black. What color?
Black.
Okay, just don't have to tell me. Just remember what it is. Right? Look,
Okay.
I'm going to slip it right out. See what I'm doing? Right? Make it very easy for you. Right? Nothing hard, right? Slip it right out. Show you what your card. Put it right there. I'll put that one there. Okay, now we'll start with the trick. Will you put your left hand on the black cards, and I'll go on with the trick. On the black ones. The black ones. Black ones, right? You got them on the black ones? Okay, very good. I'm proud of you because you see, I have the black ones right here. You put your hand on the red ones. Okay, let's go on from there. We're going to make a little bridge. Right? Make a little bridge out of the cards. And the reason for it, you'll see in a moment. I'm going to cover each coin with a playing card. So that under each card of the 4 cards is $1.50, a coin. Right? Now, if you follow me carefully, that one is gone. You look over there, you will find that it is joined, that one in that corner. You with me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now we'll take this one. It's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Would you guess it's over there? Look. There's all three. See, they switch places. Now for the most difficult one of all, the last one. That's the one that's the most difficult of all. Just gotta rub your hands together a little bit. Ready? Watch it now. And it's gone, and it's over here. Would you like to turn it over? You have all 4 coins. Right there. Like that, Jessica? Okay.
Unbelievable, huh?
Now, let me see if I go on from there. Do we go a card trick or... let me do a card trick. Then we'll do this. Would you pick any one card, Jessica? Do you remember the cards? You know cards, don't you?
Yeah.
You know cards. All right, would you take one, Marsha, please? All right, don't show it to me. Show it to the camera. Don't show me the cards. Okay? You showed the audience your cards?
Yep.
You showed them your selection? All right. I'm going to run through the cards like so, and you're going to tell me when to stop. You tell me when to stop anytime, Jessica.
Stop.
Right there. All right. Would you put your card right in there? And Marsha? Right where you told me, right? Okay. Now, if this works, you'll have to give me some applause because I don't know if it'll work. Remember what your card was. Say up, up. Jessica, say up, up.
Up, up.
Up, up.
Ah.
Marsha, was you
Wow,
the
that's
Jack
me.
of Hearts, Marsha?
That's me.
Jack of Hearts, up. Say up, up.
Up, up.
Wow.
Jack of Hearts. That was Marsha's card. Right?
That's right.
That helps. That helps. Say abracadabra.
Up. Abracadabra. Up, up.
Ten of spades? Was that your
Yep.
card? Ten of spades.
That was great. I like that one.
Can I have a pack of pools, please?
Sure. There you go. That'll be $1.24. Here's your change, kid.
You shouldn't have sold me those cigarettes.
Well, you paid for them.
Well, don't you know that selling cigarettes to me may later hurt me in life?
Selling cigarettes to minors is illegal in Massachusetts. For more information, contact GASP.
All right. I noticed you have very beautiful rings there. May I borrow just one of them?
Sure.
Would you put it right on the rope? Or, right? Now, would you just make sure that your rope is threaded on the ring is threaded on the rope or cord? I should say cord. It is through there, right?
Yes, it is.
All right. Just drop it down because I want you to make absolutely sure that it is threaded through. It is not beside or on top of the ring. Now, if I close my hand, right, Marsha, I'm going to wrap the cord around my hand, right? Would you put your finger on the X? Right, very good. And I'm going to ask Marsha to tie while you hold it there, Marsha's going to tie it around my wrist. The ends, tie them right around my wrist.
Dun, da, da, da.
Yep, tie them right on.
Into a bow.
And you hold the X, yep. And you hold the X.
Okay.
So that the ring is trapped in there on that rope. Now, I noticed they had some prongs in there for a stone, Marsha.
Yes.
But I don't know what kind of a stone you're going to put in there. There's no stone, right?
I thought there was.
No, I don't think so. I think there was it was a ring, but no, the ring was silver or gold. By the way.
It was gold.
Gold. All right, it was gold. But you were going to put a stone in, right? Didn't have a stone, did
It
it?
did have a stone in it.
It did have a stone.
It did, yes.
What kind of stone did it have in it?
An opal.
An opal. And if I tell you the ring did not have a stone, would you believe me?
No.
Look, watch.
Uh-oh.
There's no stone.
No ring.
Oh my goodness gracious. Well, I tell you what, Marsha, does your ring look anything like my ring?
I don't know.
The one I have over here?
Ah, yes it does.
It looks like that?
A lot.
And it has an opal on it?
That's it.
Is that your ring?
Sir, sure is.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, I first of all started in ballet because there was a lot of music around the house. My parents had a great deal of interest in classical music and in show tunes, and we went to New York quite a bit to see plays. And I saw dancing there, and since the music was around the house, my parents thought that it would be a good idea if I had some dance training myself. And on top of that, I had a rheumatic fever as a child. During kindergarten, I didn't go, and once I hit first grade, the doctor thought to help me regain my strength that I should take some dance classes. So this, combined with my parents' own musicality, led me into ballet classes and tap classes. And from there, I just really enjoyed the ballet classes, giving all of it up, except for the ballet, and continued to train. As for someone older getting into dance, getting into ballet, you would say definitely not. You have to start around the age of 8. Men can start a little bit older simply because there's still a great need for male dancers. But 8 is the ideal age, and takes 10 years to make a ballet dancer. So by the age of 18, you're ready to perform. And at that point, to start any later, it would mean getting that much older, when a dancer basically peaks in their late 20s or early 30s.
So maybe I'd be better off at the Arthur Murray dance.
Right, yes.
Now, the Chamber Ballet is not so much a school as it's a company.
That's right.
How does one get into the company?
Well, essentially now, I haven't been holding auditions anymore. It's by people seeing our company, dancers seeing our company, and then coming and taking class, or by other dancers going out and seeing other dancers and pulling them into the company. At this point, we have a performance coming up in Lawrence on Friday, and one of our dancers goes to the University of Toledo, where she's a dance therapy major, and a friend of hers is currently in town, so she will be performing with us, and she's currently learning interplay, one piece of our choreography.
Now, I know you've appeared at the Little Theater at Swampscott High School. What does your act consist of when you come? You come like once a year?
Yes, we'll be coming again in December, probably the weekend before Christmas. And it consists of 6 works by myself, probably 4 of which will be premieres.
Okay, ballet is a specific form of dance. Where and how did it originate? Do you know that?
Well, it originated essentially in the courts of France back in the 18th century. And the court dances then became less social dances and more theater dances. And then from this type of theater dance, ballet evolved. And then eventually the point shoe evolved to give the ballerina more ethereal quality.
Which means?
Which means ballet is very upward.
Okay.
It's very airy type movement, whereas modern dance is very much downward and into the earth. There's a lot of jumping. It's just the way you hold your body in ballet that gives it that upward, heavenly quality.
Right, I understand. Ballet, like other forms of dance or any physical activity, requires a lot of physical strain. Do you find a lot of problems with injuries?
We haven't had that much of, let's say, debilitating injuries. You have a lot of nagging aches and pains because we train from 3 to 6 hours a day. And essentially, though, because the dancers all simply work with me and we work very methodically, and I'm not saying it's not a challenge, it certainly is, and yet it is also a touch of a massage to the body, my bar. I think perhaps the dancers would tend to disagree with that, but because a lot of it evolves as we do our bar. In other words, bar is the warm-up that you do, and it takes us about an hour and a half. And slowly that evolves day after day, so that we'll work something a little bit harder one day and another part of the anatomy another day, so that it helps to prevent injuries that way.
Now, getting back to how you started this whole thing, you as a child, had rheumatic fever, and you started dancing from there. How did you come to found your own Chamber Ballet? How did you come to form your own company?
Well, for a while, I wasn't dancing. I got sick when I was at Boston Conservatory. And then I went into journalism for a while, and I was reviewing ballet for Contemporary Dance News, the Boston Dance Journal. Then when I was given pretty much a clean bill of health, I started to teach again, and I started to also take the classes with these adult dancers that I was teaching. They enjoyed my classes and they enjoyed my choreography, and so we thought, well, let's put on a performance, and we called ourselves the Almost Ballet Ensemble because we knew that it was pretty much beginner type technique, and also that the dancers were already adults. But from there, that's how I eventually founded a company, which now is called the Chamber Ballet.
Okay, and we'll be back with more right after this.
Think about water, can't live without water. Think about water before you use it. Well, that's not enough, you can't afford to lose it. It's precious stuff, so don't abuse it. Think about water before you use it. I said think about water before you use it, please.
Welcome back. My guest is Christina Stohl, founder of the Chamber Ballet. And Christina, what type of training did you have to start the Chamber Ballet?
Well, my own personal training started with Alexei Ramoff in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And then from there, I took a number of summers at the School of American Ballet in New York City. And then from there, I was at the Boston Conservatory as a dance major. Mm-hmm. And now, however, I simply train with my company. So I have to credit Alexei Ramoff, the School of American Ballet, Boston Conservatory, and myself as my training.
So you audition people, not now, but when you started the company, you audition people to get in. What does an audition entail?
Coming in, they basically take a class. The director could tell a lot by the physique of the dancer, a lot by just the beginning plie, knee bends that are done, by the first tendu, stretching of the foot that is done. You can observe how flexible the foot is, and then as the bar would go along, you then see the flexibility. So there are a number of things that enter into it. It's basically physique, flexibility, and then once you got center floor and really dancing, you'd see the musicality of the person. But a lot can be decided at first sight.
Okay. I want to ask you about the ambitions that you have for the company, but first I want to talk about diet. We talked during the break about you're a vegetarian, and what do most dancers' diet consist of? Do they have a special diet or a special regimen that they go through?
No, not at all. Everybody just tries and finds what works for them, because you try and keep as lean as possible. The exercise certainly helps, but also the exercise increases your appetite, so you have to fight against that. But I'm a vegetarian, and it means I eat no chicken either, but I do eat fish and the occasional egg, and I certainly eat milk, drink a lot of milk. And I try to avoid any kind of desserts except for when I go out to eat. I gave up chocolate on July 10th of 1985. I mean, I even have the date remembered because I certainly ate a lot of chocolate. But
that's discipline.
So I really do try and avoid desserts.
Let's talk about some of the music that you use in ballet, particularly for your company. What kind of music do you use?
Well, we use a myriad of music, and hopefully then that appeals to a broad audience. We've used music by Brahms, by Chopin, a combination of music by Leonard Bernstein, George Gershwin, and Morton Gould, music by Philip Glass, and currently a medley filled with music by Hall & Oates.
What gets the most response as far as music?
Usually the rock music. Now, the medley of the Hall & Oates tunes, this is going to be premiered now in front of an audience for the first time, so I don't have as much feedback on a really long piece filled with a lot of hits. But yes, the rock music really, and interplay with music by Bernstein and Gershwin
Right.
and Morton Gould. That also gets a nice response, simply because it's more contemporary, popular music.
So what's the future of the Chamber Ballet? What is your goal for the company, and what do you see for, where do you see it 5 years from now?
Oh, that's pretty long down the road. But at this point, I'm hoping that a New York audition for a choreographer showcase with Sheila Flaherty of Lynn and myself will work out nicely. I'm hoping that we'll make it onto the program. That's in November 2nd. We audition in New York. And also coming up is, of course, the performance in Swampscott, and we have performances Friday in Lawrence, and various other performances in the area. But our one goal at this point, too, is to be able to get the copyright permission from the Hall & Oates organization, Champion Entertainment, so that
Right.
the video that David Shaheen and I are putting together will be able to be shown, and also hopefully that video concept can be used by Daryl Hall at some point. They've expressed an interest in it, so I'm waiting to hear.
That's great. That's very exciting. Well, I'd like to thank you for joining us on Swampscott Profiles. It's been a pleasure. And we'll be back next month with another edition with 2 more guests, and we'll see the return of our student co-host. So get ready for that.